I could only add my own personal experience, as I have lived in 12 different countries in the world. And in most of the countries I have lived, books are very expensive. So people don't read many books because they're not within their reach of purchasing them. Sometimes they would have to spend a week's wages to buy a book. So they just read the Leona and magazines that come by or newspapers. So they don't have access to history books from the church. And our resources that are available in other languages are very limited. So the sisters are not very familiar with the inspired divine beginnings of the Relief Society. So having this book will not only give them the information about that divinely inspired beginning of the Relief Society, but also it will let them know about the work and the contribution of sisters and women throughout the world to building up the kingdom. And they will see themselves as builders of the kingdom. I am doing that, or I have done this. I am building the kingdom. And so it will bring it closer to them, and it will strengthen the bonds of sisterhood that we already have in the Relief Society as an organization and as part of the church. I think that this book will inspire and motivate the sisters to become more actively engaged in building up the kingdom and to appreciate and get a deeper understanding of their own role as builders of the kingdom.
Thank you. I keep thinking back, and this has been something that's inspired me as we go along to Eliza R. Snow. When the first Relief Society started, she was called to be the secretary and kept notes or minutes of those meetings. Very good and detailed minutes. She was a wonderful writer. She was educated and was gifted in being able to put down quickly what was said. I don't know if she wrote on a rough copy and later copied into that minute book that she had, but her handwriting was beautiful and the flow of the words was beautiful.
Well, and the prophet had told them that those minutes would be the bylaws and constitution of the organization.
So she was keeping very careful attention to what the prophet taught and the processes. The patterns and processes and purposes that were recorded in that minute book are still consistent today. They haven't changed. Relief Society is still about helping sisters increase faith in their personal righteousness. If they aren't doing that, they won't make and keep the covenants the Lord wants them to make and keep. It's still about strengthening families and homes, their own and the families and homes around them. It's still about seeking out and helping those who need some kind of relief or help, either spiritual or temporal need. Those purposes haven't changed. So this constitution or bylaws that she talked about are now really available to every sister in this form. And as we worked on this book, I thought over and over again, would Eliza be happy with this? Would Eliza feel like this should be in her minute book? Would this be something that she and the prophet Joseph Smith and those other Relief Society presidencies, starting from Emma Smith and her counselors on down, would they consider this to capture what it was the Lord had asked them to do? Those questions were always in my mind, and I feel that we have it, that this is like the Constitution and bylaws. But now it's not just one book in one woman's hands. Now it is everyone's book in everyone's hands.